Hey there, everyone. Rick Ucchino here once again for SK Wrestling. I'm very excited to speak with my guest today, who has had quite the week, competed in his first Royal Rumble match, made his debut on Raw, shook hands with a wrestling legend, and got to pal around with a Grammy-nominated artist. He is the former North American champion, Damian Priest. How are we doing, sir?
After everything you just said, I'm on cloud nine, man.
I know, tremendous week, great week for you. I'm going to try and get through all of it in this interview, but I do want to start off with the Royal Rumble because one, that's my absolute favorite event of the year, and this year's was fantastic. But also your first time in there, you hit the ring with guys like Edge and Kane and Bobby Lashley, chaos happening everywhere. You know, what was your first Rumble experience like?
Oh man, so. It's a blur because, I had so many emotions going through me, and I was so nervous. But like yourself, Rumble is my favorite event of the year, since I was a kid. So being that this is my first one, of course, is going to be extra special. And getting to be in the ring with the people you said, I mean, I was going out of my mind, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. It was something. When you hear people say that was a special experience or that was cool and I'll cherish that and remember it for the rest of my life, I think that gets, said a lot and it just gets, kind of lost because people say it so often. But for me, that's one of those that's actually true. This is the one. When people say, one of the biggest achievements of your career, this is 100% one of them. I can't even think of something bigger at the moment than that. The people I was in the ring with, the way I debuted in the Royal Rumble because I'm such a fan of it. It's all the good stuff, So the experience out of this world.
Yeah, and the cherry on top of that, man, did you ever think you would eliminate Kane from a Royal Rumble match? Dude's an elected official now, still showing up in these Rumble matches. It's insane, but you had his number this year. What did that feel like when it happened?
First of all, it's one of those things that I just never thought I would even be possible to stand in the ring with him. I didn't think that was a possibility anymore. Just, if he's going to appear, he's going to be with some special people. I just figured, I just counted myself out of that situation. And then here it is. Oh man, he's in the ring. And then, I eliminated him. I almost cried when I did. Just because I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. If I couldn't throw me out,
But you also got, you got the epic stare down with him in the middle of the ring, and that was a really cool visual. Not only did you go over him in the match, then he put you over again in a big way afterwards with his interview with WWE.com. Follow that up on Monday night. You get the backstage rub there from Edge, and I saw your comments to BT Sport about how that was like a deer in the headlights moment for you. But, just kind of looking at the significance of all of that. A lot of people compared that moment with Edge to Taker and Cena. That's not a bad way to kick off your Raw tenure, but does that kind of set a high bar now for you moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it. And I'm not setting that bar. Everybody's setting it for me, but I'm totally cool with it. Obviously I'm not comparing myself to Cena, but if there is a comparison, he must have felt so honored and humbled by that, by that moment, just like I did. So if there's a comparison to be made, it had to have been just a feeling. Besides that, I would never even attempt to compare myself to him. But yeah, that moment. And like I said, before, it was totally him. He did that on his own. So that did nothing for him. He doesn't gain anything by going out of his way to say nice things about me. Okay, that's cool. But for me, I'll know that, and that means the world to me. And the same thing with Kane. I had no idea. I saw it on social media like everybody else. I had no idea he said anything about me, and then when I heard what he said, and I was like, what? And then by the time I saw it, I couldn't even find him to thank him. It makes me think, how did I get here? I can't believe this is actually happening.
Now, you weren't the only star to make a splash, pun intended, at the Royal Rumble, by the way. So did, rapper, singer-songwriter Bad Bunny. Gave you a little assist, getting Miz and Morrison out of the ring, then dove off the top rope to the outside. Then you two got to work together on Raw the next night. You beat the Miz in your Raw debut. Working with Bad Bunny just had to make this entire weekend and the Raw introduction really special for you as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, tell me how I should complain about being involved with one of the hottest and most popular human beings on the planet. Yeah, sounds good to me. But also, like, you know, I love what I do, and I love just being happy and loving life. And seeing him doing that, like, I was excited for him. He was so excited and so happy because he's a huge fan. So for me to see him, you know, like and his enjoyment made me happy as well, just because he's a good dude, you know, we're cool. And then, like, he's just so, like, in love with like, he loves his business. So to watch his excitement and how he, you know, he's acting and reacting to everything in the back and interacting with people, it's cool to see. Like, I know a lot of people don't see that side, but it's really neat to watch. And
he does a better splash than Snoop, so we got to give him credit for that.
Oh, no comment on that one, man.
Now, there are reports that, you know, he's been working out of the PC a little bit, so could we be looking at a tag team match here in the future? Maybe the two of you against Miz and Morrison, possibly Tampa Bay, WrestleMania 37. Get where I'm going with this one?
Yeah, I mean, that's been brought up to me by other people as well. Like, I can't, like, I read the reports like everybody else did, so I don't know. But I will say this. That guy is so talented and so determined to achieve what he wants on his terms that if he wanted to do this as, like, he wanted to transition or wanted to wrestle, I'm sure he could achieve it. Like, he's not even supposed to have the success he has in his profession now, but he figured out a way to make it work. So, and he's just a good human being, so and that always helps. And I think that if he wanted to, I'm sure he could. And for me, hell, I don't care what I'm doing. If I get first of all, I'm just trying to be on WrestleMania. So if it could be in any way, shape, or form and associated with someone like him and his caliber of status in this world, sign me up, please.
Damian Priest, my guest at this time. Now, there had been reports that you were going to be moved to either Raw or SmackDown right around New Year's Eve, which was January 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in that range. You know, when did you find out that you were headed over to Raw, and what was that moment like for you when you were told the news?
So, you know how it is in this business, man. Like, you hear things and you're told things, but things can change. And being that it was that far out, you know, it's one of those, like, hey, it's looking like. But nobody ever wanted to just tell me straight out because everybody said the same thing. It was like, but you know how things can change, so take it, you know, as a maybe, you know. So that's the way I took it. You know, I tried not to put too much thought into it because then, you know, I knew I would overwhelm myself with emotions. So I just kind of kept my mind occupied and just kept on doing my normal, everyday, day-to-day things, you know, whether it's training and whatever. So I wouldn't just, you know, I wouldn't be disappointed if it didn't happen. You know, hey, this is where I am now. I'm an NXT superstar, and that's where my focus is. And then there was obviously you might be in the Rumble. So then there's that, but also the same thing, like, that would be cool. But as of right now, I'm an NXT superstar. Let me just focus on who I want to work with next and what I want to do here. And then a few days out of the Rumble, it was like, okay, you're officially going to be in it. Then it was like, oh, this is happening. So that's how that happened. But I had heard, just like everybody else, I'd heard about, you know, the potential move. But that's what it was. It was a potential move. There was no guarantees.